Hey, how's it going everyone? Dan here and welcome back to another MabiPro video. Alright, so today, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. In old Mabi, in live Mabi, I guess is what I should call it, I used to do, well, when the channel started to grow and people were more curious about the gear I was using or like my character in general, I would do like these character updates like every now and again. Well, today is going to be that day where we revisit the character update video. But first, before I jump into my character, which, I don't really like to do this kind of thing too often because I don't really like to show off. In fact, I kind of like to keep to myself. And I kind of see it as showing off doing a character update, but in a way it isn't. But then my mindset, it is. I just have a bunch of internal conflicts about these type of videos, long story short. But anyways, for those of you who don't know who I am or who I was, and that, again, that's like makes me sound stuck up when I say you don't know who I am, but I mean, not anyone's gonna know who I am. But more info about me, basically, before I get, sound super stuck up. My old username in Live Mabi was LaDaniel1992. It's a very unoriginal username. It was literally my name and my birth year side by side. And I was a human on the Tarlac server, and I was basically a flame alchemist with melee on the side, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I did videos on Mabinogi. They weren't great, but for some reason people liked them. I think it was probably because Mabi didn't really have a lot of dedicated video uploaders, and eventually, there were a lot of dedicated Mabi uploaders. Hell, Light Dart Snake, my friend Philip, just all kinds of people who started making greater videos, and all those people, and I met a lot of them, and some of them are my friends to this day. But somehow I grew in that group, and then I closed the channel, and those videos don't exist anymore. And then things got lost, yada yada yada. Years later, here I am on MabiPro as a giant. Because before, I wanted to. I told myself if I ever were to make a new character, that I ideally wanted to make a giant alchemist with melee, because I felt back then when I was a human that I couldn't really pull off all the combos that I wanted because I wasn't human, or I wasn't a giant, and I felt that giants were more dedicated towards melee, because back then I didn't really like range, so giants didn't have any range. So Hoggoblin Elders, I guess we'll kill that and walk and talk here. But I'm going to be doing Black Herb again because I still need a bouquet. I don't really know how well that's going to go. Oh, they're right there. Okay. But yeah, probably gonna die doing this too, but so be it. I guess we just kill the ads, we'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the backstory of me in general. So that's why I made a giant on this character, and that's why I wasn't very smart and made a giant as the only character on this account. If you don't know, I decided I was just gonna go in with one character, not being very smart because I forgot about the assist cards. So literally my bank cap is at 5 mil and I fucking can't do anything about it. But that's my own doing. And I have accepted that burden upon myself to deal with a bank cap. Ow. Hell, hit me for 95. Luckily the Hoggoblin Elders, they're not very threatening, even with their int magic. They don't really do that much damage. And they can be poisoned. Ow. Oh god, that's a fire. No, run! Ooh! Made it. Oh, you dick. I guess we're just gonna, oh my, okay, that did a lot. That did a lot! Heal, my dude. Okay. I guess we're getting pot poison. I basically live in freaking pot poison. Anyway. So, I got the MabiPro by a friend's recommendation in my comments, like at the beginning of, what was it, this year? I think it was, no, it wasn't this year, it was last year? Has it really been out? I don't think, MabiPro's not been out for a year, has it? I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of this year when I got a message saying that MabiPro was a thing. And it was like literally right after the news that, Aura project was shutting down. And like I was upset because it was like right when they fixed the old combat, and I was like hoping to get more, and then that happened. But anyway, I joined MabiPro way back then. I've been playing ever since. I don't remember if it was this year or last year. It was damn near close to the start of MabiPro, but it wasn't. But like to like a few weeks or months later, it's whatever. It's not important details right now. So after these die, we'll go back up there and we'll get the enchanted firewood. Okay. Not gonna lie, I was low-key hoping for another giant feather so I can sell it because I'm fucking greedy and I'm broke. Anyway. Oh, man. Anyway, been playing for 8 months, 7 months. I don't fucking know. Doesn't matter. Alright, so stats. Here are my stats. Not really all that impressive, but yeah. We're on Warrior Destiny. That's why the strength stat is so high. The total is 3,200. And somehow, some way, even though I joined late, I've hit number one on the leaderboard. That's not even important because literally total level doesn't mean anything in Mabinogi at all when it comes down to, you know, your gear and your skill, knowledge, and whatever, all that crap. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I'm not really good at these type of things, you know. I guess I need to tell you skill ranks. I guess I gotta go in order, I suppose. So, my life tab. I don't really like the life tab. Everyone who has known me in the past known I am allergic to life skills. I am just straight up allergic to life skills. However, my MabiPro experience has been different to where I have basically been going outside of what I did in live. Because in live, I didn't do any life skills at all, except for I think carpentry and the basic shit like music and first aid and rest and all that. I haven't done like a lot of things like tailoring and weaving, herbalism, all those like other life skills that are very super tedious. I haven't done any of that. But in this game, my goal in MabiPro is to do everything. I want to finish what I started back in live back then before they started adding fighter and all that crap and make me not want to play the game anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, pretty much this character so far, I've capped the combat tab as far as I know. I mean, I don't know if they've released anything to uncap any of these other skills, but for the most part, this is all I've got. Charge is not uncapped past 5, as you can tell there, and evade is stuck at 6. And that is just a spirit thing that, again, another thing I didn't really do in live is do spirit weapons. Mainly because by the time I really got to a spirit weapon I liked, aka cylinder, freaking +6 was a thing, and it basically made spirit weapons obsolete, I believe is the way it went. But anyway, yeah, combat tab's done. Alchemy tab is done now, because in live, I never did metal conversion. I never want to do metal conversion ever again. I can see why I didn't do it in live. I knew it'd be tedious. It was tedious here. I fucking hated that last requirement for rank 2 to make a damn diamond. Freaking 0.4% chance to make a freaking diamond, dude. And it's required to rank it to 1. I hate it. And you have to play that minigame perfectly. I hate it. But I found a trick for it at the end, and I guess it wasn't that bad, but still. And like, I never did synthesis, never did frag, all this extra stuff in live. I did it here. It was not that bad. It was definitely an interesting experience to get to experience. How many times can I say experience in the same sentence? Experience the rest of alchemy that I avoided in live. All right, as for magic tab, this is the one I'm working on now. I'm going to be focusing on fireball and blaze first because of the plus strength. At least I think fireball is plus strength. It should be. It's not very much, but it's a little bit. And blaze is plus strength as well. And I guess I just decided I'm going to start at the AP dumps of the magic tree and work my way down, even though the better way to do it would be to get my bolts, my basic bolts up, especially if I'm going to be dueling. And I have been dueling a lot, even though I haven't ranked my magic. Man, because I'm a giant and I don't really use a lot of magic bolts unless I'm chaining it with charge smash or nonsense like that. I just kind of abuse the fact that giants have a faster smash time and just, you know, smash on a lot of things. But anyway, that's besides the point. Focus on fireball now. Gonna do blaze after that, and then I guess after those two, then I will do my basic bolts, which, you know, like I said, it sounds a little ass backwards, but you know, gotta get that strength, man. That's the most important stat. Beast stuff. I regret not ranking Giant Full Swing earlier. I was going to rank it, and then I realized I never had a Broad Axe, so then I said I was never going to use it. And then now that I have a Spirit Broad Axe, I've been using Full Swing, and it's just been like the most fun skill I've ever used. Like, I really enjoy using Full Swing. It's just something very satisfying about using Full Swing that makes me regret not ranking it first. But we're working on it. I think we're 19 levels away from, yeah, it says 19 levels away from capping the transformation tree once and for all. I don't know if I'll get that this rebirth because we're already level 100 and I don't really like the level past that. Oh, there's been some people who ask, do I actually actively level to get these levels? Not really. These levels kind of just come naturally. I always keep a 2x EXP pot on, and I'll just kind of just use it to run whatever I'm running at the time, which is usually a lot of black herb nowadays because, yeah, it's good for exploration levels. That's the only reason I cap my explore levels out nowadays, because black herb is just so good and it gives some decent loot, and I'm looking for loot from in there, and every time I want to look for loot, EXP just kind of just drops in my lap, and I'll take that. You know, we'll take those. Anyways, Demi tab, there's really not much to see here. I prefer to use Neemian's side of things, so Spirit Light, Fury Light mainly because I really like to use Spirit God if I really need some clutch damage. Although Wings of Eclipse, Wings of Rage is quite nice for damaging certain enemies, I really like Spirit of Light. Like, I cannot go without having Spirit God, so that's why I keep myself on Neemian. Although the invincibility from Wings of Rage is also nice. All right. Last but not least, before we get started with this, it's going to be a long video if you can't tell, because I like to talk, apparently, when it comes to MabiPro stuff. And there's a lot of stuff to go through. So currently my gear set is not really impressive. It's a lot of just basic generic things. It's a lot of generic things that you would see from back then, literally just all damage stuff. But I'll go over it. So my accessory, my one accessory is a Marquee in Swarming Celtic Cross, which is almost dead. And I hate that because Swarming decided, you know, we're just going to be an annoying rank A and destroy your accessory, you know, that you can't get anymore unless it comes back in an event. And that you can only replace with Oblivion because it's 10 max damage and there's no other prefix that gives that much damage on an accessory. Like, I know that sounded weird, but seriously. These accessories are essentially best in slot. Although I'm not gonna lie, I would probably prefer an Oblivion just because I think Oblivion gives Dex and 10 max. And I don't really value attack speed that much, if at all. In my honest opinion, attack speed is just a useless stat. Especially now that in this server, field bosses are based off of last hit, not number of hits like it did in live. So I really don't like attack speed. And I never really have liked attack speed. Even in dueling, you just feel like attack speed is very moot, because it doesn't really take into account that I'm using a very slow weapon, someone else is using a normal speed weapon, and I'm still going to hit before them. I never really understood that, but whatever. Yeah, what can you do? I'm going to have to get a new one of these eventually, but I'm going to keep it until it breaks. Hopefully by then I'll have found an Oblivion somewhere. As for what I want ideally on this accessory, or on this specific accessory, I'd rather keep this one, but if I can find a Drosera, which is one of these like custom accessories they made that has like defense and HP, a decent roll on that, and I can get an Oblivion burn, I would definitely replace this with Oblivion Swarming instead of Marquee Swarming. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, straight up. Anyway, that's that. Helmet, Metal Needle, Burst Knight. Ideally, I want Oblivion Dexterity, you know, basic shit. I do like the fact that Metal Needle adds crit and max, and I'm starting to question whether or not getting that 4 max damage increase is worth switching to an Oblivion and losing that 2 crit, because with my particular weapon sets, critting is really hard to do in these freaking late game dungeons. Like, critting, if I can crit smash, things are going right, and it's hard to do that But I guess really, if I just stack as much damage as possible, then we won't need the crit. No. Well, I actually really do need the crit. Anyway, ideally, I want Oblivion decks here. We're still working on that because I don't know when the giant news spawn, and I refuse to use an alt to sit it out there so I can see when they spawn. And I'm not blaming anyone who does. I'm not naysaying anyone who does, but I'm someone who believes in the principle that abusing an alt for personal gain is just not my style. I don't really like to do that. Like, I'm not going to drag alts into a shadow mission with me to get extra chests. I'm not going to use alts to freaking camp somewhere and get extra loot or bring alts to a field boss. I'm not doing that. The only thing I've ever used alts for is to fill in for doing G1 through G3 on a character that doesn't even exist anymore. So there's that pretty much. Also, if you're wondering why this particular gear set, you should really just look at the last line, Smash Enhancement, Say No More. As a giant, probably the ideal set effect you can have is Smash Enhancement, and we have it, which is nice. I think it's because Thames doesn't actually exist in the server yet. Ideally, or not ideally, but I feel like if Thames existed, everyone would definitely go for that. Though granted, everyone's going with the clothing meta, so not a lot of people use heavy armor, so that's not bad. All right, armor is Ancient Pitch Black. I had a Ancient Pitch Black Pirta leather armor, which is like the basic light armor for giants you can buy from a shop. I bought it from the auction like maybe 2 months into playing this server because Rabbi Basic was fucking OP as shit, and you can make like 1 mil an hour from doing that dungeon, which is freaking stupid. But I might be exaggerating a little bit, but that's not to say Rabbi Basic was OP as shit. Literally, that's the only dungeon that you would ever need to run for money, ever. Those Foamer Scrolls were insane. That is why, if you don't know, that is why they raised the turn-in limit for Foamer Scrolls, for red skeletons, normal skeletons, and metal skeletons up to 20 from 10, because Rabbi Basic was so overpowered. Because you could literally go to Shyla, buy a 30k pass, drop it, and make like freaking 10 times that. Like, come back with 300k in like, I mean, it'd take me like what, 20, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes tops to run a Rabbi Basic back then with only windmill. So it's like, yeah, that's a little too strong. Not to mention you're getting red coins on top of it that were selling for 4k, 5k a piece. There was some mad money in there. Insane money. So that they got nerfed pretty much. So that's pretty much the story. And then I saw that, there's Smash Enhancement. So then basically I burned Ancient Pitch Black off with the help of my friend John, who is my guildmate and my friend, and the dude who helped me duo Pika Int. And we performed some armor surgery, or some enchant surgery, on this Broken Horn armor, which is 4 points Smash Enhance. And we managed to get Ancient on in I think 4 or 5 tries. As for Pitch Black, we didn't really have any issues bridging up, except it did have a few fails. I think it started off at 20 dura. We're at 12 now, so we got lucky with the RNG on the durability, but here we are. Also, again, I apologize for talking so much. These character updates usually are a bunch of talking, so I apologize. Anyway, as for ideal enchants, this is pretty much my ideal enchant set. I mean, I'm getting 22 max off this armor. I'm not going to change it. I don't plan on changing it. And it hasn't lost any durability yet, so we'll hope it stays that way. Although repairing armor isn't really all that pressing. I mean, armor has a lot of dura, and armor loss is really slow. Usually the accessory is what goes slow. And I feel like I'm about to get interrupted. No? Okay. Shield. Unusual alteration. Alteration is my ideal suffix. My ideal prefix would be, again, Oblivion. But, like I said, it's hard for me to find Oblivion. God damn it. I guess if I really want to find Oblivion, I'll just freaking AFK out in freaking area and just starve my ego or something, man. I'm going to have to do that at some point, but not now. Like I said, I got to focus on getting decks first. I've been trying to do a lot of Sulfur Spider, but no luck there. And, yeah, whatever. All right. Gauntlet, expansive, giant. Giant has just been sitting there since I freaking got these gauntlets. I'm not even gonna lie. Expansive, I got extremely lucky and got on my very first Their Method run, Their Method Elite run. And I'm pretty sure I live streamed that too. I just don't remember if it's on YouTube, but I remember getting it on my first try and was in shock that it came from there. But I was like, okay, we'll take that. We'll take those. And that was probably where all my RNG has gone for the rest of MabiPro Eternity, unfortunately. But there you go. And last but not least, some boots. Well, before weapons anyway. Fleet Viscount. I think that's pretty much my ideal combo. I spammed so much Foamer Attack to find Fleet. God, coming from live, where Fleet was not that rare, coming here and trying to find Fleet, oh my god, it was fucking terrible. I mean, on the upside, spamming Foamer Attack, maybe a lot of gold from all the fine leathers and coins and gold drops, but enchant hunting is hard, man. I wish it was that easy for decks, but apparently I haven't gotten to the point where I can spam Sulfur Spider smoothly, but we're getting there, And my weapon of choice, which was given to me by my dear friend Primate before he left the server and went to a different game, his private server, and then I don't know what he's playing now, but he was kind enough to leave me this before he left. This friggin' Highlander Claymore. He gave it to me when it had, I think it just came. I think it came with Untamed Crocodile already on it. I don't see how he managed to chain up to Crocodile without breaking his Dura, because it had like 12 Dura when he gave it to me, or it's like 12 or 14. Now it's at 6 because Nares is a bitch. And the only reason I'm repairing at Nares is because half the time I use repair coupons and it always picks Nares. And I told myself I would start repairing at Etern, but of course every NPC in the world hates me and they just want to see me lose my weapon and lose a shit ton of damage. And it is +3 blue. I had it +3 red at first, and then I got Shockmaster, and I really like that Shockmaster adds a percentage based of damage now. However, apparently Shockmaster is quote-unquote bugged to where it isn't actually adding +4, is it 4 or 6% of damage? 4%. It's not actually adding 4% of your damage on the window, because it doesn't. I think it doesn't include your weapon damage. But either way, I like Shockmaster because Stompmaster was taking away so much crit from me that I freaking couldn't crit on anything in like hard mode, and it was annoying. So I'll take the raw damage above and my crit above losing a bunch of crit any day of the week. And it week. Damn, I can't talk. All right. And this is just my Spirit Broad Axe. It's not really all that high. I made this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Once again, I haven't really dived too far into the ego tree, but it's actually quite addicting, especially since nowadays, like I said, with the full swing thing. I really like using full swing, so there's that. All right. And really, I don't really need to go over my out gear. You guys know my out gear by now, but I'll do it anyway, just because I prefer Flame Alch. I do plan to make a water set later as well, but for now, Flame is all I got. My helmet, Stiff Burning. Ideally, Stiff Flame is what I think. Flame is a prefix actually, so Flame would go over Stiff, I believe. So it would be Flame Burning. We unfortunately didn't get lucky at our Pika Int run, and running Pika Int like that takes a lot of time in preparation, and I don't know if I'll ever find Flame, but eventually we'll find Flame and we'll get it on this helmet, and that'll be ideal there. 2 heated accessories. That's pretty standard for a Flame set. Currently, I am looking for another Dragon's Breath slab, this thing here, for Flame Burst enhancement. Since Flame Rider's not a thing, and I highly doubt it will be a thing, because that would be incredibly overpowered for one side of alchemy. Granted, alchemy's underused anyway, so I don't really see a reason why Flame Rider shouldn't be a thing. I feel like Flame Rider kind of defeated the purpose of Cressida eventually. I mean, if you were going one alch, but then at the same time, like, Cressida gives you the benefit of potentially giving a boost in all 3, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm looking for another one of these, and then when I do find it, I'm going to transfer my heateds over to these, hopefully without losing them. probably just jinx myself when it happens. They come from Black Herb, and I haven't found another one ever since. But hey, I got a 3 roll on it, and that's good. Anyway, as a suffix, ideally I try and find Earnest. But I haven't seen a single Earnest burn ever since, and I used to have a ton of those back in live. So I think they came from a gacha though, so that probably explains some things. As for top is currently a explosive Cressida with a shit flame burst roll. They're really freaking hard to get because they never show up. I don't think I've ever gotten a Cressida drop naturally at all. Apparently they added a secret boss that people were trying to figure out a couple months ago that dropped a lot of Cressida gear. And within that time, I never really saw a Cressida that had more than 1 point in Flame Burst. Ideally, I get a 4-point Flame Burst Cressida top and transfer Explosive over to it. Luckily, there are other places to get Explosive, so I don't have to freaking camp at the Joust place. However, Explosive, probably again, suffix either Earnest or Healer is what I'm going to put on there just for the HP, even though we don't scale with HP, but you know, whatever. Looking for a better Cressida. Or a Cressida glove that actually has Flame Burst on it, which has Spark, again, standard Fire Enhance. I'm looking for, ideally, would be Spark Earnest. Or Spark Elegant. I mean, either one works, really. I don't really... If I get Elegant, I want to put it on this gauntlet, which I didn't really say. I'm looking for Elegant for my suffix on this, but freaking Defeat Former Commander wants to be a bitch. And Spark Cressida gloves, no big deal there. Hot boots. Ideally, I get some better boots than these standard-ass giant NPC boots, but if I don't, that's okay. If we get some Cressida shoes, then we freaking ran some suicide mission and got through it somehow. Because I think the Cressida shoes come from Conflict Elite or Defensive Battle Elite or something crazy, and I don't think I'll ever do Defensive Battle or Conflict on Elite unless I got some people feeling incredibly ready to do that and then be disappointed when we don't actually get the drop. And last but not least, the Volcano. Finally got synergy on a Volcano 3 days ago. 3 or 2 days ago, thanks to John again. And we didn't even need the freaking enchant protection, but it's still on there. And again, ideally, I don't really know what I would put as a suffix on the Volcano, but yeah. I don't really know for a good suffix. I mean, obviously Magma was a thing back then, but Magma's not a thing now because Magma came from... What did Magma come from? That's a good question, wasn't it? Magma came from Commerce, I believe. It was something I didn't do, but I easily could have done. I'm pretty sure it was Commerce. Like, I never understood Commerce. All I did was freaking hunt bandits back then. And even then, I didn't really hunt bandits enough to make enough money to get to Magma at all, because bandit hunting was apparently just not the ideal way to make ducats, which I mean it really wasn't compared to Commerce, but I didn't really understand how people were making like millions and millions of freaking ducats from Commerce alone when I freaking sat there and I freaking spammed the shit out of it one time, and I was making like what, like only thousands of like ducats in profit sometimes. So I was always just jealous of people's dedication when it came to ducats. I ended up just buying Magma from somebody for like, I think it was like either 3 or 4 mil. It was a really incredibly overpriced deal, I feel like. But granted, I think the ducat, the coin exchange was like 2 to 1 in our server, so 4 mil was probably standard. It was something high. I don't really remember. Like I said, it's been years since all this went down. I just remember paying a lot out of pocket for Magma. And back then, old Dan felt no remorse freaking buying NX to sell something to make money for it. Like back then, I think I was buying reforges to sell for money to make money to get Magma. It was something stupid. Like back then, I highly regret spending as much money as I did on Mabi. Like, if I'd known what the future was gonna be for it. Like, sure, you had to spend money to rebirth, sure. I mean, that's what I honestly should have just left it at. But, like, I would always buy freaking gachas. Like, every time there was a new freaking gacha, I would freaking drop money on it. And in the guild that I was running, I was giving away, like, so much NX every month. That, I mean, I don't regret doing that. Because I was just making sure that the guild had a fun place to stay. But then it also feels like, if I say it like that, it makes it sound like I was basically paying them to stay in the guild, you know? And I don't really like to word it like that. I'm gonna put this weapon power pot on. It's the whole reason I freaking bought it, because I wanted to zoom through this black herb, but anyway, like, I spent so much money on freaking Mabi back then. And then when I freaking turned around and looked up the total of how much I spent on Mabi over the years, it friggin' shocked me that it was above 1K. I think it ended up being like either 1 or 2,000 over however long I played live Mabi. I remember I played from about maybe a week from release. I know I played near the start of Mabi, but it wasn't first day. It was like maybe like sometime during the first week, maybe second or third day. I don't really remember. But I played from pretty much G1 all the way to G17. I stopped somewhere in there. I think the last thing they added before I quit was was it Ninja? I think Ninja was the last skill set they added. I remember trying to sit there and force train Ninja skills, and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I refuse. But anyway, what the hell was I talking about? God damn it! I'm so guilty at forgetting things. Or what I was talking about beforehand. How did I even get on that damn tangent to begin with? That's another good question. It'll come to me eventually. It will come to me eventually about how I got on that tangent. And when it does, I'm gonna feel real stupid. I don't even remember, dude. I don't even remember. Or hurry up and burn them before they go into recovery. Damn it! How dare you go into recovery? Okay. That's right. Jump right back into the flame. Like a good little spider. Oh, man. The heck was I talking about? It's gonna come to me eventually. I got plenty of time to sit here and talk. I was talking about magma before that. Oh yeah, spending money. That's what it was. Yeah, I didn't really like spending all that money on Mabi back then, but I mean, when you have a true love for the game, then things happen, you know. And honestly, had I not done all that, I probably wouldn't be the same person, you know. Life back then wasn't exactly easy. Hell, I feel like it was definitely a lot worse back then too. Some serious near trouble that I would have got in and whatnot. So, like I said, Mabi keeping my time was probably for the best. There's a lot of bad shit back then, but man, that's the past, and here we are in the future. Probably wouldn't have met a lot of my friends, or well, see, there's that argument that online friends don't really count as friends, but I count online friends as friends, okay? I wouldn't have met a lot of my friends if it wasn't for Mabi anyway. I definitely count online friends as friends because, hell, half the time, my online friends are the only people that I can ever actually talk to sometimes. Hell, I try and talk to my real life friends and they're all freaking too busy to ever make any bit of time for me, so it's just like, okay. That's right, that's fine. I'm not saying that I'm all important or nothing, but it's like every time that I want to try and hang out with somebody, it's just like they throw me the I'm busy or not this time. It's hard. It's really hard. Life is freaking hard. Socializing is just hard. Ugh. So that's why lately I've just been telling myself, you know what? I'll socialize, but if, you know, if people are gonna just make the... Is there another group of... Wow, I got freaking pre-aim too. Those hobgoblin exorcists are gonna hit me when we go in there. Oh, okay. That looks terrible. Please crit. Okay, we didn't actually need the crit. Didn't actually need the crit. But we got the crit anyway. We'll take it. Also, did we have a lost recovery? Nope, I used it. Get that out of here. Anyway, as I was saying, it's really hard to socialize now. I told myself, you know, I'll try and reach out there and socialize, make some friends at work, because that's pretty much where I am half the time. I'm at work literally 85% of the time, or 95% of my freaking life anyway. Get off the freaking horse. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. Okay, we're on the wrong tab. Almost messed that up. Whew. Yeah, I'm pretty socially awkward, honestly, but that's why I told myself I'm going to be reaching out more, because I'm very socially awkward / inept. For those who don't know, growing up, I didn't really talk to a lot of people, mainly because I was bullied a lot as a kid, and it kind of affected me growing up. But, you know, I tried my best. Once I got out of high school, literally, I think the very first time I went out with a girl was with this one girl I met somehow at work. And it is a weird story. I guess I'll go ahead and tell it, since, you know, this is a long ass dungeon. We're gonna be here a while anyway. So, like, I started working at Walmart like in October of 2010. So not very long after I graduated, which was in June of 2010. And oh my god, it's been fucking 8 years. God damn it, I feel old. It's freaking sidetracked. So I was out pushing carts one day to help out side, because they always asked me to push carts, and it was fucking annoying. But, you know, you just, again, details don't matter. And my supervisor at the time told me that one of his friends asked my name, and he didn't know who I was at the time. No, wait, no, he was still I think he was still a cart pusher back then as well. So he asked me what my name was, and I told him. He's like, it's not for me, like my friend asked. It's like, oh, okay. So then I get a random friend request on Facebook later on from this supposed girl who wanted to know my name, and she sent me a message at first, and we started talking, but then her friend adds me, and like the friend that added me was just like probably one of the most cutest girls I've ever seen ever. And she actually ended up asking if we wanted to meet up and hang out and go see a movie. After a little bit of conversation, I was like, oh yeah, cool. It was like my first time ever being out with a girl. And I fucking blew it. Like, I look on it on right now. I look at it now, and I realize that back then, as I said, I had no interaction with any females whatsoever, like on a one-on-one date, until that very moment. And so, oh god, I'm gonna die from the crits. Jesus, stop critting. Anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying? I don't forget everything now. Oh yeah. So I'll tell you pretty much what happened. We got there, we decided we were gonna see, I think it was Big Mama's Like Father Like Son. We just decided to pick on like a comedy because, you know, we both like comedy. So we went and go saw it. It was a great movie. And then after the movie, you know, we had about 5 or 10 minutes before her mom came and picked her up. And my dumbass couldn't come up with anything to say outside of asking her if she liked the movie. And, you know, there was a song at the end that it played that I asked her that she liked. But then other than that, I was so freaking shy back then. I couldn't come up with anything because I was just so frozen in fear that I didn't want to say anything wrong. Like, we literally just, it was sad, really. So after her mom came and picked her up, like, I messaged her, well, we messaged each other on Facebook again, and we decided we'd hang out again at the bowling alley when we can actually talk. And this time she brought 2 more of her friends. So it was me at the bowling alley with 3 girls this time. And if you thought it was bad when I was out with her alone, just me and her, when she brought her 2 friends, it was worse. It got freaking worse. Like, I was just, again, frozen in fear. And back then, I didn't even have my bowling talent yet, which, I mean, even nowadays I don't have bowling talent, but I do know how to actually throw the ball and, you know, hit pins constantly now compared to back then where I just fucking gutter every freaking throw. Again, details. Anyway, so I was just completely, and by completely I mean like 95% quiet during that whole bowling game that we went to, because I just didn't know what to say. And I was so, like I said, so socially awkward and so socially inept. I didn't know what to say, how to respond to things. It was just hard. Especially being with 3 girls, it was even worse. I'm not gonna lie. I was so frozen in fear. Not to mention her freaking mom was there too. So it was just a terrible, well, not really a terrible time. We had fun, but it was bad from my standpoint. I definitely ruined it. I ruined the chance with that girl. And I say the chance, but I say that very loosely because I didn't really like saying the chance because it felt like that I was implying that I was trying to get something from her. And that was bad. Because then, after that, because this was during the summer, after that, we never hung out again. Even though we said we were going to, like, you know, watch TV together or something. Like, we were going to watch, like, Kenan and Kel, because we both really liked that show. But that never happened. And then college came for her. Because I feel like, once again, because I blew it with both dates, that I wasn't really interesting enough to keep her attention. And I think this was her sign to try and, like, separate from me, which is okay. But back then, me was really hard to get the hint, as again, like I said, I haven't had much experience with girls. So then, wait, how the hell I even fucking get on this tangent? You know, fuck it, I'm telling the whole story anyway. Fuck it, I questioned it, and I realized, you know what, might as well finish it up, huh? So then college came along, and I didn't hear nothing from her for so long, for like years. Like, I tried to send her messages every now and again, but she would always take like days to respond to a message on Facebook. So I was just like, okay. And then eventually, you know, we had a talk. And by this talk, I mean, I asked her, I hope I still have, okay, this is where I really fucked up back then. I literally said, and I quote, I hope I didn't mess anything up and that I still have a chance with you back then. See, again, implying that she actually felt something towards me, which she didn't. Although I think she knew that I liked her. And then after that, she said something along the lines of, what do you mean by chance? And I was like, and I don't remember what I said back then, what I said after that. But after that conversation, like, we didn't talk for years. Like, quite literally years after that one conversation. Because I definitely made things completely awkward between us. Then years later, I ended up sending her another message saying that I apologize for what I said back then. You deserve more respect than that, and, you know, I understand you can't forgive me and all that. And then she pretty much said it's okay, in her own words. and then, like I said, we haven't talked ever since. But that was pretty much my first interaction with girls, period. Again, I don't really know how I got to that freaking tangent. I think it was based on friends, I think. Like, trying to make friends. Whatever. See, and this is, again, I'm gonna jump all over the place with these tangents. This is why I don't understand how anyone could put up with my commentary. Like, even nowadays, I commentate the exact same way I did back then in live Mobby when I was making these videos. It's the exact same commentary. My tangents and my stories never are like consistent. I constantly jump from place to place with my storytelling, mainly because, like I said, my freaking thought process is terrible and my brain is terrible and I'm freaking terrible. But like, I don't understand how anyone could put up with my commentary, like, cause it goes all over the place, if that makes any sense. As I said, just like, I don't talk about one thing for very long. I constantly forget what I want to talk about half the time. Just, I don't get it. Why did my videos blow up back then? How did anyone see me as a... Oh, crap. Yep. Wait, I didn't do any damage. Excuse me? I guess the Swarmer hit me? I fucking hate this boss. I just want you to know that. Luckily, if you hit it with a fast enough pet, you can kind of stun lock it. I said kind of stun lock it. No! Yep. Oh, I saw it, and it happened, and I couldn't do nothing about it. And it crit too, just cause, you know, gotta add in for good measure. Gotta get that crit. Go. No, don't get. Oh. Alright, he's dead anyway. Okay. Stop spamming that, you bitch. Do this again. Bet you won't. That's right, you won't. Because you're dead. Damn it. Normally, you can kind of stun lock that boss with the pet. I think you need at least 2 pets, or at least a pet that hits as fast as possible to be able to get it. Another tiny dragonfly token. I don't know what they did to the drop rate of this dungeon now, but it feels like something is incredibly off about it. Like earlier today, we ran, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 black herbs in a row. And before that particular run, I would be running this and I would get a raid pass every time on that, after that boss fight from that chest. Every single chest would have a raid pass in it. Oh shit, hold up. Freaking panthers, dude, they freaking hurt. I'm gonna... God, freaking terrible spawns. Alright. Anyway. Yeah, and now, just like now, I just seemingly don't get anything. Like, I'm looking for a bouquet so I can run this weekly resetting mission before I miss a week of rewards, which would suck because it resets tomorrow. But of course, with my luck and the desire sensor being a fantastic thing, that it's not ever gonna drop when I'm actually looking for it, and it'll drop when I don't need it, aka the frickin' Morrow. Made no damn sense, dude. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I never really understood how people liked my commentary back then. I just felt so... It felt like my commentary had freaking ADHD. I think that's a good way to put it. Not that ADHD is a bad thing to have, because, you know, a lot of people are born with that. But, it just jumped all over the place. It was never consistent or, like, smooth commentary. It was just all over the place. And I don't really like that. I like to be organized in a way. I have, like, slight OCD. Not crazy OCD, but slight OCD, so I don't really like to be disorganized, even when I'm commentating as well. I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, I gotta freaking do it, just cause, got to. Not gonna do no damage, but had to do it. Hey, don't be running up on me. Don't be running. Wait, why y'all got? Why's everything got Bart skin title? Get out of here. Screw your Bart skin title. Let me crit. Luckily, I have enough crit with the with trance and this axe to crit through the Bart skin. I'm not sure about my sword. 104. 104%'s close enough. Oh fuck! I forgot I have the steroid pot on. I was like, holy shit! I just broke 10k, and I realized, wait, I didn't actually break 10k. I have fucking steroid pot on. I totally forgot I had that on. Oh, that would have been the first time I broke 10k without having a steroid, and I realized I actually had the steroid on. So, unfortunate. Oh, Dan, use a freaking fake ass damage. You know what? Sometimes when you're impatient, and sometimes when you don't want to make an hour-long video, which I mean we're going to end up doing so anyway, you have to try and speed the run up a little bit. You know? I was wondering why my damage with my spirit weapon seemed higher than normal. Yeah, I don't normally get 600 max in trance with this weapon. Not at all. Let me see a juicy crit. Where that? No, freaking man. Wasn't a juicy crit at all. Where my crits at, man? I'm just trying to crit. Of course, I freaking hit the baby tap. Whatever. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about again? Yeah, just I don't understand how people liked my commentary. I still don't to this day. Like, I was never really anyone important. I was really never anyone great at the game. I was just a normal person, like, who really playing this game because he liked it a lot. I mean, and I wasn't even knowledgeable with the game either. Like, a lot of people felt that I was, but I really wasn't. Even at things that I thought I knew a lot about, I wasn't very knowledgeable in. Like, the only thing that I was very comfortable explaining in Mabi was the old combat timings, like knowing the stun times of each skill, or like each attack, like, you know, normal attacks and weapon bolts and all that, and load times and skill flashes, and knowing what is what, etc. That, and how to rank alchemy mastery. Like, even my something I was super comfortable with, my flame alch, I was not very knowledgeable in that. I knew the enchants, sure, but outside of that, I didn't know shit else about Mabi at all. In fact, I didn't really know much about the enchants of melee gear at all. Oh, back then I was being carried by my 2 battle swords that were freaking, well, not, I think one was a battle, one was a broadsword. Yeah, I had one +6 red battle sword that had basically a near perfect artisan on it. I think the only thing it didn't have was, oh, pot. Okay, we're good. Thank you, pot day. It had like every stat artisan perfect. Even the negative stat was perfect. That's how good. Oh, that ripped my trance. Oh, that's a ghast. Yeah, probably shouldn't stand so close to these before we get bopped. I know they drop actual, at least from what I've heard, they drop actual Pika Int loot, but I just really don't feel like killing guests right now because they freaking beat my ass, and I still am recovering from that screwing from Pika Int that I definitely got carried in, by the way. Like, people give me a little bit too much credit during that run. Like, John did so much of the work in that mission that I'm not even joking, or mission in that dungeon. Like, dude did 95% of the rooms on his own. I was only there to do like the ghost rooms, like to help out in the ghost rooms and to help out on like any straggler enemies. Otherwise, all I was doing is freaking stomping through a door or taunting through a door. Like, I felt through when we were doing that bit, because I mean it was my strategy to do it, and it is a good way to use taunt to our advantage. But I feel like it could have been done in a way where I could have been more useful. Like, had I known I could have been using Golem the entire time through the door, I should have been doing that from like room number 1, you know, if I was gonna do that strategy. But it felt like I was just like leeching at that point when he would just do entire rooms of waves on his own, and you know, me just taunting through a door. It didn't feel good at all. I mean, was I happy? I mean, I was happy it was working, but just I felt bad for making him do all the work. Like I said, he did so much of the work in that dungeon. It's absolutely insane. But anyway, yeah, I just don't feel like killing those ghasts right now. Mainly because I don't really have a surefire way to kill them. You would think at some point Dan would learn to go mine, or not mine, go do some stones for snow golem crystals. Because snow golems are freaking strong as shit for no reason. I know I have a lot of fine stones. I can make a bunch of sulfur golems had I had the sulfur to do so, which I mean would just take some mining. Dan, you know, you want to just go mine some sulfur ore, you could make some sulfur golems, you know. I feel like now that I've gotten used to ARAT crystalling every single crystal that I need, that I've lost the ability to go and please don't spawn. Okay, I was gonna say please don't spawn enemies. I've lost the ability to, you know, go and just hunt crystals on my own. I mean, even though you can't ARAT snow golems, which is depressing, but also fair, because you're able to ARAT snow golems, you would never ARAT any other crystal ever again, because snow golems are just that freaking powerful, man. Like, it took me, I mean, I knew snow golems were strong. I didn't know how strong. Like, I saw, it opened my eyes a lot during that Peak Ant run, where I was summoning snow golems on ghasts, and where a ghast could basically one-shot any character, like any player character in the game with just like a single auto attack, because they hit for like thousands of damage on autos for some reason. God forbid the snow golem takes like 10 damage from an auto attack from a ghast. 10 whole damage, like 10 and 20s, down from like 500 to 1,000. Like that's just insanity. It's like, why do you have so much prot, dude? And then their damage range is even more ridiculous. They're freaking smashing 7Ks, windmilling 4Ks. Like, okay, snow golems, calm your ass down. I see why you're not ARATable. Are you levitating? Hello? Have these always been levitating? I feel like they always have been. Just possibly. Always been levitating. We're about to get to the boss fight. I feel like I've said everything I wanted to say. But I do want to say, while we're here, that those of you who have been here on YouTube, you know, supporting the videos, I appreciate it. I know this channel, as I said, has turned into a VOD dump, which is pretty much what I intended it to be. I'm focusing on my Twitch live streams now every day at 7, and also basically anything that's a one-off video or MabiPro stuff is gonna still be going up on this channel. I told myself I was gonna just start getting back into the swing of things and scheduling my live stream, since life isn't so hectic with babysitting and whatnot, which, I mean, I don't really want to talk about that right now for reasons that I will literally sit here and rant all day about the situation going on with the girls, so I will just not mention it. But because of certain circumstances, I'm not going to be seeing them for a while, meaning I'm not going to have to babysit for a while, meaning I'll have a lot more time to myself like I did back then. That means I'm actually able to get back into my stream schedule. of every day for 2 hours like I was doing a long time ago. So there you go. Ow, why you gotta counter me, bitch? Oh, don't wing guard. Alright. Okay, look. You gotta go away. I'm a face. Okay, where are you at on damage range? 351. Then we get to about where we can hit 400 cleans with this thing, and then I can put it up. I've been using my Brio neck so much. Like, I was using it a lot for like skill training. I've never used my Brio for protection shred so much than lately. Or so much more than lately. Especially with all these bulky bosses that just have thousands of health. I mean, this is meant to be a party boss, so I understand why this is bulky. But ever since I learned, I mean, I knew Brennak could shred prot, but I didn't know how. I can't explain it really. Basically, ever since I've learned that shredding prot really makes a really huge difference on these bulky bosses, where like this has like I think 150k HP, and you can just like shred its prot and crit for like 9k just repeatedly over and over and over and get it stuck like this. Well, it's stuck like this because of other reasons. I believe it's locked into either defense or lightning bolt right now, and it can't really do anything because I'm standing outside of its range, hence why it's not attacking. But anyway, what was I saying? Damn, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, the situation IRL is it's an anger-inducing situation, to be honest. It's something I've been dealing with for the past 3 weeks. Like the first week was me just being incredibly sad. Like I couldn't even do anything hardly. Like I know I was still streaming back then, but I was just depressed almost to the point where I didn't feel like doing anything. And then the second week was me like getting over it, and then the third week, which is this week technically, I guess it was last week and this week, we'll just kind of lump them together, was me experiencing a shit ton of anger for decision making from the girls' mom, and just like whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. Like I said, it's a bit too personal to be speaking about on the internet. I don't really want to share their business, but it's just something that has torn me up inside. Like I said, those girls meant a lot to me, and the fact that I can't see them for a while, or almost, I mean, I don't want to be super negative or super cynical about it, but yeah, possibly forever. It hurts. It basically feels like I've lost a family member because, like I said, they were family to me. But that's pretty much how IRL is right now. It's freaking terrible. Got a Wing of Leaping. I think that's the assault slash accessory. It's only 2 points. Not the greatest enhancement. Not really the accessory I wanted either, but so be it. Anyway, so this pretty much wraps up this character update slash Black Herb video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know it's been a long one. I will see you guys next time with the next video, whenever that may be. And until then, thank you guys for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. See you then, guys.